Welcome in. Hello, friendos. It is, well, you know what time it is. It is YouSchoode. Wednesdays at 4 right here on youtube.com/chaddukesshow. Thank you so much for stopping in, whether you're watching live or catching us later. Jesus Christ. Did I fall down a fucking hill before I got here? I was fine just a second ago. Now I'm all discombobulated. Hit the like button, hit the share button, blah, 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 blah. We are YouTube exclusive for this program, and we mean to keep it that way. All those other fucking streaming services can go screw. That's what I say. 100 plus member shows available. If you are slumming it with us, or this is the cut of your jib, you want 100 episodes plus of Solid Dudes, click that link at the top of the chat or in the bio. You can become a member or just hang around. Unfortunately, there's a lot of baby birds with their mouths open, and we got some big old fucking eagles from Lord of the Rings that fly by from time to time and drop off massive amounts of gifted memberships. Scheduled to be joined today by the great Barty Janetti. He has a new YouTube channel. We're going to talk about it. It's really, I like it when people get outside their comfort zone. I have a tendency to stay in my comfort zone. So when somebody really stretches them legs, I'm appreciative, and I think Barty's doing just that. I want to start the program today by reminding you, big weekend for the chaddukesshow and for Commonwealth Dry Goods. It is Christmas and June weekend, my favorite weekend of the year. Friday, June 20th. We will be broadcasting live right here. You don't got to do nothing. You just got to come back. And we'll be doing our Christmas in June spectacular that we do each and every year. Our gift exchange. It's always a lot of fun. A lot of hurt feelings. And then the very next day at Commonwealth Dry Goods, we celebrate Christmas in June at the shop. We did 3 different ponytails and cocktails sauces. They're all the shiz. So you can come on by and grab one of those. We also did our hot chocolate s'mores bark, which is one of the most popular things we do each and every year. Put it in the fridge. You heard it from me here first. And then if you would like a beautiful Pacifico Pals candle available in 2 different colors to burn while you're wearing your fish hat. So we got it all. There's no reason for you to shop anywhere else. Cancel your Amazon Prime. Turn off your Uber Eats. Come on out to Commonwealth Dry Goods for Christmas in June this Saturday on the 21st. And tune in the night before. We will be slinging them things. Oh, there he is. I just noticed he's backstage already. Prompt as ever. Being jobless will do that, or so I have been told. Hello, Barty Janetti. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, dude? How's it going, man?
Good to see you.
When is Commonwealth Dry Goods going to start selling oil sheets to wipe my face with?
I forgot about your oil sheets.
I can't find them anywhere. So, you know.
Is that a product that's off the market, you think?
I guess there's not enough oily people out there, but I'm fucking dying, especially in this heat, dude.
Good Lord. It's not your time of the year. Do you have a fan on you right now?
Yeah, you want me to turn it off?
I know the feeling because I run so many fans that I know the distinct sound of when it's blowing on the microphone there.
All right, is that better?
Yeah, you're good. You're good to go.
All right, cool.
It's good to see you, bud. I know you can't be with us the whole time, but we'll hang out. I have so much stuff that I'm excited to talk to you about, including you were kind enough to do an edit on a video that nobody knows that I have. Nobody knows this exists.
Yeah. Yeah. We can do a whole hour on that video.
I mean, what do you want to start with? I mean, I'd like to start with your channel, I think, right? I mean, people need to.
Why don't we just get to why don't we just skip the feature act and get to the headliner, dude? Why don't we just jump right to it? I was just listening to your show right now, actually, and I don't want to spoil anything for anyone that hasn't listened yet, but I can't believe what I heard on the show.
Yeah.
It goes against every instinct that I had in my body. I can't believe it.
There's some disgusting people that I'm affiliated with now, Bart. And I know that we thought that we had some putrid people around. Are you drinking a Corona?
Yeah. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, brother. We check that clock. That's 4 p.m. as the crow flies. Hey,
oh, yeah.
Fucking hungada bunga.
When you're unemployed,
yeah, why not?
It's 5 o'clock all day.
It's a hot day outside. Why not enjoy yourself a cool beverage? All right. Let's see here. Cancel another subscription to become a member from poor to payee. Well, oh, thank you so much, Michael. That's great news. All right, I will set this up, and then Barty, you've seen the videos because you're kind enough. I don't know how YouTube works. I just know that a lot of YouTubers that I partake in their content, they seem to get their channels nuked on a regular basis for pretty benign shit. And the one thing that seems to be common is showing butts. Like YouTube really doesn't seem to like it when you show buttholes.
Yeah.
And the video that I had that I needed some editing done for had a very noticeable butt crack. I would call it a plumber's crack. And Barty was able to use his skills to overcome that. Do you know the context surrounding this clip before we show it?
I don't. I have no clue.
Okay.
But I know it's a very sought after butt crack. So people are in for
not by ladies, by lots of dudes that I have wives and kids, lives they've built. You're a big fan, or at least you were in the past, of the Ant-Man of Giuseppe Pizzo, correct?
I love him. Yeah.
It's a friend of ours, and he has been doing this bit where on Friday nights he goes out to this Egyptian nightclub in Vienna, of which I did. I'm surprised. I'm kind of shocked that you didn't tell me about it, because I feel like that's right in your wheelhouse.
What you're talking about, but I heard there were Moroccans there, which is, I don't know how I feel about Ant-Man dancing around with Moroccan ladies, but I have no idea where is it's not a hookah bar. Well, no, they have hookahs, but they also have alcohol and shit like that.
They have hookah. From what I've been told, it is an Egyptian restaurant that turns into just a crazy brown nightclub later on in the evening. And the only pink person that is in this place is Orgy Beard and Ant-Man. There's only two total.
Right.
And they got girls dancing up on the speakers. They got hookah. They got bottles. And I'd rather be dead than step foot into this fucking place. But that's just me. And so these guys, they're all in their 40s and 50s. They've been going out to this place because there's girls there that will dance with them. And they get to grind their nubbers against them, from what I've been told. I'm paraphrasing, but I think that's what the story is, Bart. I know you look disgusted.
It's just so gay, dude. Like, they're not hooking up with these girls,
No, they're not. They're not doing that.
Dance with them. Ugh.
I can't think of anything I'd rather do less than go out and dance with girls that I have no chance of hooking up with.
Maybe it's just something that we have never, just is not in our DNA. We've never been able to experience a night of dancing and actually enjoyed it. But it's always been something that I always thought it was something that dudes just had to do because girls liked it.
If they're not, I don't even think you're using it as a slur. I know a lot of gay guys that like to go dancing. I don't know any straight dudes that like to go dancing, and I'm going to stick to that with this story.
Right.
So Ant-Man went out dancing at this club, and he stayed over. He was so drunk, he stayed over at the house of one of my sponsors, Mike from Don't Sleep Energy, who is Persian but pretends like he's Italian. He's very Ronnie the limo driver. That's my opinion.
I like him.
He's great.
Well, Arab.
Great fucking guy. Yeah. But he's a self-loathing Arab, I would say. He lets Ant-Man stay at his house. Ant-Man gets up the next day, and he's so blackout drunk, he doesn't know where he is. So he doesn't know where his truck is. He doesn't know how to get to his truck. And it's really, really hot outside. So
how old is Ant-Man, by the way?
He's 44, I think.
Good for him, dude.
Ant-Man, of course, you've described him as the most jacked 400-pound guy you've ever seen in your life.
I mean, yeah, dude. He has somehow his boob fat is in the shape of pecs.
It's bizarre, man.
So it looks like a pec, but you poke it and it's got a lot of jiggle to it,
Yeah, it's titty like what anybody else would have.
Yeah.
But genetically, he's blessed in a lot of ways because his fat kind of forms into muscles. And so when he's walking around, he's going to look like a bodybuilder when you see this clip. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Right.
So the way that it was described to me, and the only reason we have this footage, is that Anthony told us that it was so hot outside and he couldn't call an Uber because his phone was dead.
Okay.
And everybody else in the house was still asleep and he had to leave. He decided, fuck it, I'm just going to hoof it back from this house to wherever I left my truck, which assumably was in front of this club in Vienna.
Oh my God.
Yes. So that's
Who would rather wake someone up and say, "Hey, can I get a phone charger real quick?" versus walking in the hot ass? That's insane.
It
What
is.
He confuses me so much, dude.
Well, I also think it's a bunch of lies because as you're going to see in this video, he clicks his phone and his phone comes on. Like, I don't know if you noticed that in the video.
I didn't.
Yeah. So he claims there's something ain't stirring the Kool-Aid here.
Yeah.
Ant-Man leaves the house to walk back to his truck. He claims it's over a mile away. It was 90 degrees out. And I guess his plan was to walk shirtless because he was so fucking hot. And as you mentioned, Ant-Man has no fucks to give. Like, he doesn't care what people think. So he starts off the journey walking shirtless, but then quickly realizes it's the middle of the day on a Saturday. All of Mike's blue blood, upper crust, fucking 1%er white privileged neighbors, they're all out playing with the kids and mowing the lawns.
Yeah. Someone's going to call the cops on me. Yeah.
You would hope. He decides to then put his shirt on. And then he turns the wrong way down the road. He turns the exact opposite way of where his truck is and proceeds to walk around Vienna for the next hour and a half trying to figure out where he's going. So,
that makes me so happy.
He tells us this story. And I immediately say, oh my God, can you imagine if we got some traffic cam footage? Like, that would be so amazing to see Ant-Man walking down Maple Avenue, bare-chested.
Yeah.
And Mike says, I got cameras all over my fucking house. What door did you walk out of? And Anthony tells him, and he says, I got a camera there. So Mike starts scrubbing through his ring cam footage, and sure enough, he finds 3 different camera angles of Anthony's exodus from his house in a drunken stupor, trying to find his way back, Frodo-like, across Middle Earth to get to his burnt orange fucking ridiculous pickup truck.
Do you have any idea like what the distance is from the Iranian nightclub to Mike's house?
So it's 0.8 miles if you go straight there, if it's a straight line, but you can't because there's houses and shopping centers and shit. So you got to zig and zag. And he started off by, when you're going to see at the end of this video, he hangs a very sharp left and the Iranian nightclub is to the right.
Dude, that's insane. Who I haven't walked a mile out of necessity since like high school, right?
Yeah. Most of the time you're on a treadmill just trying to stay alive long enough, right, you know, that you don't fucking fall face first to your death in a bowl of oatmeal.
Yeah.
So that's the video. And it's 3 quick clips, and Barty was able to cover up because Ant-Man's butt crack is predominant in this footage. So we wanted to make sure. The place. Oh, yeah, Doug Track Trick is in the chat. Hello, Doug.
Yeah.
He only shows up when you show up, brother. I'll tell you that much.
I got a lot of people, you know, that only show up when you used to give us the little, you know, intro, like go check out Othman's show. Like Andy and Petra Schonard.
Yeah, they're great.
They went up twice. And I said something about how Petra's name reminds me of a big busty model one time, and she never showed up again.
Oh. It is on brand. I will defend them, but I mean, I don't know how they can be mad at you for just doing what you do.
Sorry about that, guys.
Be like if you ate a snake in front of them. They're just like, just what this guy does.
Just be me.
Corey Rita, $49.99. Jesus, titty fucking.
I'm butt sized.
Thank you so much, Corey. Assalamu alaikum, Othman. Look at that.
Alaikum salam, Corey.
That's right. Thank you very much, Corey. Appreciate you, bud. Alex Davis with the 1999 Orange Boy. Hoy.
Hoy, man.
Hoy, back to you, my
I just want to say, I get butt sized.
All right, we do accept super chats on this station, and we do get butt sized when we get them. Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Corey. Very, very cool. Okay. All right, let's just go through this. And I'm going to pause it. Okay, so this is the outside of Mike's house. If you've never been there, Artheller, as soon as you walk out this door, there is a very steep incline, and then you to the right, and then you exit the yard out onto the street. It's a very interesting topography in Vienna. I don't know how many times you found that yourself there socially, but it's very up and down.
Yeah, I do remember. It's they're very proud of how unique they are in Vienna. You've been to his house?
Yes, I did a show from his house. Actually, he's got he's got a palace. He's got a movie theater and a gym in the basement. I mean, the guy's done well for himself.
How Arab is the decor?
Not at all. His wife is, I think, from where Manny Pacquiao's from, and he pretends he's very Eugene. Like you would think Tony Soprano lives in his house.
Okay, all right.
I think it is. Yeah. But this is Ant-Man emerging from the house after a night's debauchery. It's roughly 10:30 in the morning. Mike told me that he woke up at noon on that very same day. So if Ant-Man, I don't understand, Barty, why he didn't just like brew a pot of coffee, like raid the fridge, enjoy the air conditioning, watch a little TV, wait for somebody to get up and be like, hey man, let me get that phone charger off you.
Yeah, although you said that his phone was working, so definitely shenanigans. I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe using a rush to get somewhere that you don't want to tell anybody about.
That's interesting because he's got, I mean, there's some clandestine things going on in Anthony's life right now, including he has 4 different, I mean, he's a gigolo to 3 different rich guys in their 40s and 50s right now that just pay for the privilege of his company. I swear to fucking God, I'm not making it up, dude. It's unbelievable. So there's a lot to take in here. First, you're going to see Anthony emerge with his shirt off. And then I want you to look at the phone because it seems pretty clear to me that the phone is not dead, but I'll let you be the judge. No. Why does he have the shirt off already? He's coming from inside. I realize he thinks it's hot outside, but wouldn't you walk outside, decide it's hot, and then whip the shirt off?
He probably had to like hype himself up a little bit to walk outside. Although, actually, is he ashamed of his body? I don't know. Do you know?
Doesn't seem like it to me.
Okay.
Not if you do this.
Because I feel like you or I, like we would have to, convince ourselves that it was the only way that we would be able to survive outside before. We would have to hype ourselves up before walking outside in public with our shirts off.
Marty, there's no, it would never happen because I know that for one second of ring cam footage of it, and then the nation would be horrified.
Yeah, your life is over.
Yeah, I mean, I would stop living. I would just be like, well, this has been fun. All right, so here he comes. He's a little wobbly too. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
Pulling up the pants.
All right.
All right, now here's where the phone comes out. And notice the phone comes out immediately.
Oh, man.
Now let's take a look here. Right there.
Dude, that shit is on.
And he's got that, what's that thing on the new iPhones have where it's got the protection so if anyone's around you, they can't see your screen?
Yeah, the privacy protect. Yeah.
He's got that.
Yeah. Damn, dude.
Right there. I'm positive you can see a fucking website right there.
Well, dude, yeah. I mean, have you ever had been walking around with like a dead phone? Sometimes you do. Sometimes I'll do that when my phone is dead. Just out of habit, you're like, oh, let me, scroll Twitter, and then you're like, immediately when you pull it out, you're like, oh yeah, it's dead. And even
maybe it's just a placebo, but to me, it even feels different. Like it feels dead when it is dead.
Right. And then you kind of like tell yourself like, you fucking idiot, put your dead phone back in the yeah. But yeah, you're right. You can see, and it doesn't look like just light reflecting off of it. It looks like you see little boxes on the screen. Dude, what are you up to?
I don't know. Now hold on. Is there sound on this, by the way?
Yeah.
Do you hear the click of the phone getting locked? Let's listen. I'm almost positive. Listen.
Oh, dude, it's definitely on.
It's definitely on.
You can see the home screen open up.
When it goes, look right there. You can see the apps on the fucking phone right there.
What are you up to, Ant-Man?
And when it goes to put in his pocket, I don't know. So that's the first portion of the video. Here's the hill I was telling you about. Sorry, the fact that I wish that he wasn't down here the way that he is, but this is the only way we can watch it. Maybe we can go down here. Is that better? No, that's worse. Let me turn this off. Is that better or worse?
It's the same. I mean, you can keep it like this.
Are those your kids?
Yeah, sorry. The nanny's leaving.
There he comes. You got a hitch in his giddy up. So here's where he notices that suburbia is going on outside of his drunken little fiefdom.
Yeah.
And he makes the decision to put the shirt back on. It's, of course, for anybody that's followed the show at all, it's the same Steelwoods t-shirt that he has worn for the past 5 years straight. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know how he's going to get some hot Italian broad if he dresses this way, but that's up to him. Look how long it takes him to negotiate this this skate.
He's rethinking everything.
Yeah. He realizes he's not going to be able to put off this half nude fucking fiasco.
Oh, it's a black shirt too. Oh.
Now it's back on.
Yay.
Out he goes.
All right.
Imagine doing this on a hot day. Like, why wouldn't you just wait to call a cab? All right, now this is the front. And I believe both of them may have added a little accompanying music to the end portion here. But what you need to understand is that's Mike's street. To the right is the club, and to the left is nothing. To the left is like a hill, and I think Tyson's Corner, bud. Like he's not gonna go anywhere near it. So let's see this. By the way,
that was by accident. I did not mean to do that.
Look at what he's looking at. Look at what he's looking at. Do you see what he's looking at right now as he walks away? He's looking down at his fucking phone.
Anthony Pizzo. Honestly, that was an accident. I did not mean it.
You didn't mean to put that music in?
Yeah, that was a.
All right, let's watch it all the way through now. Subsequent clips. He's got the jeans on from the club because he can't wear the cargo shorts to the club.
So uncomfortable.
He really, I mean, you could tell he's trying to get this chick too because he like really crammed himself into these things. What is that? A pool pump there? I don't know what's going on with Mike's neighbors.
It was a pretty quick, change of mind.
What do you mean?
Like as soon as he got to the fence or the gate, he was like, I can't do that.
He claims that once he got out into Vienna proper, he whipped his shirt off and had to walk all the way back. It got so hot in the black shirt and the jeans that eventually he was walking down the street bare-chested.
That's ridiculous, dude.
I don't know if I believe it either.
All right,
Is that Mike's security camera that plays that music whenever he walks away?
I think there's an actual band down the street. If he, I don't believe that, dude. If that's true, then tell him to fucking, walk down the street of Old Town Fairfax with his shirt off. See if he has the balls to do it. Because I mean, you either have the balls to do that. Have you ever done that once in your life?
I did it once when I was like 19. I was around 155 pounds. I told you I was doing Bill Phillips Body for Life, and I was playing disc golf at Burke Lake Park, and it was so fucking hot out. But a disc golf course is spread out. Like no one is in any danger of walking up on you and seeing all the jiggle joggle. Yeah. Like I would never do it if there was a chance a woman was going to be anywhere within 100 yards of me. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I did it once for like 30 seconds. It was when I was in LA. I was in good shape and it was hot. I was sweating. My shirt was soaked. And then I did it because I was like walking back to the house or running. And then like I started making eye contact with all the people that were in the LA traffic just staring at me. And immediately I was like, what am I doing? I don't have the confidence to do this shit.
It's not even the confidence. I feel like you can't just be in shape to do that. Like it is such a conscious and bold statement that you're making without saying anything about your level of confidence.
Yeah.
You got to be like Instagram model fucking rip for that shit. Ernesto, $4.99 unemployment fund. Are we still unemployed, Barty?
Yeah. I'm circling a couple opportunities. Maybe maybe there'll be an update soon. I don't know, dude. It's so sad, man. I've been on so many interviews and I swear that they like me. And then I just never hear from them again. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, they must have They must have thought the same thing about me that I think about myself.
I think about myself.
But
ghosting has become so like acceptable too at all walks of life. Like I remember getting turned down for jobs. They'd either call, or for radio jobs when I was applying for them, they send me a fucking letter, like a written letter that we're not going to pursue you at this time. Yeah.
Like a college rejection letter from the admissions office. Yeah.
100% chance.
It's nuts. But unemployment's okay, dude. We're surviving. We're thriving. We're not thriving, but you know what I mean.
Corona's at 4:30. It could be way worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Corey, thank you again for the $4.99. Ant had to hurry up and not go to work. Well, yeah, there was no chance he was on his way to work that day. That'd be fucking ridiculous. What's that?
Can I mean, without saying it, can I
just say whatever you want? I mean, as long as it's not the N-word. It's the only thing I'd rather you stay away from today.
So I've heard that is the girl that allegedly fancies him is quite fetching.
Apparently she's a banger. Yeah, I've never seen her myself, but it's been corroborated by people that are not lying liars. So
can you say what her best like feature is? Allegedly?
I think the caboose is exceptional from what I've been told, and I've been told she's fetching. And I've been told that everybody else that's in this group, like she's the number one stunner, and they're all somewhat on Ant-Man because this all started. This disgusting group of fucking like millionaire dudes, they go out there and they smoke cigars and they drink bourbon and they shut this fucking restaurant down every Friday night. And these girls like come out and they get tipped like, crazy. And so these guys are under the assumption that they like the girls like them. And of course they don't.
Yeah.
Ant-Man started coming out, no money, no status, no nothing. And she started like rubbing his back and she started calling him the sweet boy. And once that happened, it just fucking popped off with the rest of these guys where I think they're all actively hating on him, trying to do this. Mike isn't. I don't think Mike is, but everybody else is trying to cock block.
I heard Orgy trying to cover himself for indirectly cock blocking. But I understood what Ant-Man was saying. He didn't really present it that well when he was talking about him spitting all over the place and kind of salting his game a little bit, but I understand what he was saying. He was just making it weird. He made it a environment that was not conducive to like him being able to holler, or anything like that.
Which I believe, but Anthony's had 3 separate chances to ask for this girl's phone number, and each time the reason why it didn't happen got so fantastical that it was tough to believe that he wanted it. But this past time, I don't know if you threw at the episode, but he fucking asked for her number as she was suffering from going into anaphylactic shock from eating fucking shellfish or some shit. Like her hands were swelling up and she went to the hospital, which most women do after Anthony asked for their phone number, straight to the hospital.
Hey, by the way, can I get your number real quick?
I know you dying real quick, but my butt and dick would look bigger in your hand now that it's all swelled up.
Hey, I know you're not much longer for this earth, but I live with my parents. You want to come over sometime?
Well, he even mentioned getting out of the parents' house because he's like, I just realized if I want to talk to this girl, I don't know how I get around me living with my parents. And I was like, well, it's a shame no one told you that 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
It's something we've all kind of known.
You move him into your basement.
No fucking. Well, he's got more baller sponsors than me at this point. I mean, Monk wants him to be. It might be romantic at this point between those two, and then Mike is all in. And Charlie Bruce from Fairwinds has inquired about sponsoring Anthony for one night a week. Like everybody's fucking obsessed with him, man.
Interesting.
And you know how you can relate to this. None of them want to hang out with me. And I'm fucking sitting there. And I'm like, I introduced you all to this fucking crackhead, and now you're all best friends with him.
I mean, Ant-Man is nice, and he's a
lot of fun.
But he's the type to like do whatever you want to do.
Yep.
So if you're Adam McNair, you want to take him to some underground rappers concert in Portland, or
that was bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's how he gets the sponsorships. He's just down for
whatever.
Yeah.
Boy, it's $20. Thank you so much for the orange boy. Much appreciated. How do I weigh less than Ant but look worse? I hate him for that. I mean, this will make you feel a little better. Take a look at this is Anthony telling the story.
All right, we're here at Plaza Azteca, the Outer Banks. Hey man, this is the spot where it happened, correct?
Yep. I had some Pacificos, and I got a little bubbly.
What does that mean?
My stomach was churning, and I walked outside and projectile vomited right next to this car here. And
Jim was loogieing over there.
Jim spat right here.
All right, well, let's reenact it real quick. So, Brian will play the role of the girl having her quinceañera.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh my gosh, I'm just here having my quinceañera at Plaza Azteca. What is the man with no eyelids doing?
So now you should feel a little bit better, boy. I don't think he looks nearly as flattering in that story.
That's so funny.
Thank you, buddy.
Dude, I'm all over the place. I'll let you
Go ahead.
No, I already want to jump to Jim.
You want to jump to Jim already?
Because he was talking about Jim hawking loogies and stuff like that, and I was thinking about Jim.
This Jim? That guy right there?
Yeah. I just want to say at the by the way, I feel bad for the bartenders at Fairwinds because they all day they probably had dudes coming up to the bar and doing what I did, which is, hey, yeah, I'll take 3 Pacifico pals.
That was the name of the beer.
But
yeah,
I was thinking about, because when I was watching him up there doing the show with you guys, I felt like he was, as they say in the streets, on one a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He was going a little more overboard than I remember. Like he was really putting on a show, right? Like he was talking all this shit to, his tour and shit like that. And what were you gonna say? Sorry.
He has a side piece there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was performing for her.
Yeah,
that's what it was all about.
Yeah, it was incredibly performative. I mean, after we learned that and we showed all the pictures, and then we knew what was going on, because I'll give Jim credit. Not only will he cheat, but he'll openly cheat and talk about it openly, and he doesn't give a fuck. Like, I don't think you should commit adultery, but if you're going to do it, that's a pretty gangster way of doing it, where it's like, yeah, this is the life that I'm about, and I pay all the bills, so what are you going to do? Like, I assume that's his attitude.
You think it's like, you think if somebody, like, I don't even want to put this out there, but if somehow,
don't do it.
If somehow she heard the podcast, you think he would just be like, shut up, bitch.
No, it's the opposite. He's cucked to her, but hey, look, man, it's a show. What are you trying to prove? I mean, people have been trying to walk this line on radio shows for 100 years. It's like what you say on the show is just for entertainment's sake. Right. Who knows? Maybe he's making the whole thing up, except when he brings a side piece out to a beer release where there's 200 fucking listeners that are all going to see it. So I would have to assume he doesn't give a fuck, right?
That's ballsy, dude. That's ballsy. How does she look, by the way?
I mean, she's his type, all right, where's that? There's private messaging on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna send you a private message. I can't have you say this on the show, okay?
Okay. All
right. This is his type. Every girl that I've ever seen him date.
No.
I swear to God.
That is not good. That is not good.
It ain't good, brother, but I don't mean it's not true. I don't have you for that long. You sent over this clip. It's so amazing. I don't want to say Russia is better than America. I know that's a real controversial thing to say, but I do feel like, Barry, in Russia, they don't look at being masculine as a pariah like we seem to do here in this country. You think is that a outlandish Bart Wright sentiment to make?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they embrace it. I mean, anytime I've seen like anyone dating Eastern European women, Russian women, it's always the same bit. The woman like is very cold,
right?
No, doesn't show as much emotion as most women do. So, apply that same standard to dudes. And dude, I don't know when this happened. Remember when we first started watching UFC, it was all Brazil.
Yeah, sure.
He's for Brazil. But now it's just fucking Muslim Russian dudes just, wrecking shop. So,
well, it used to be, wasn't Khabib the only one with the big furry hat? And then every time I turn on a fight now, like half the fucking roster's wearing that giant furry hat, which I'm a big fan of, by the way.
Yeah, the bleach blonde afro.
Who was
Yes,
the one? Who was the one that put it on Rogan while he was being interviewed by Rogan? That was like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't know. I know what you're talking about. I don't know. But yeah, it seems like they definitely embrace being and I mean, I'm not, for your liberal listeners here, I'm not saying that I like this guy, but doesn't Putin have like a third-degree black belt? I mean, they probably gave it to him like the first year he started training.
Sure.
But yeah, so they definitely embrace being a dude.
He does ride his horse around shirtless.
Right.
Yeah, which again, we've all said, Barty and I've already admitted that we don't have enough testosterone to do something like that. So Barty sent me this clip and I downloaded it. And I guess to set it up, Bart, it's a guy in his car. And I always think everything's fake nowadays. But if this is fake, these two need to get a Netflix miniseries instantly because they're the best actors I've ever seen in my life.
How's your sniff? Like, can you sniff out fake stuff pretty well?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times the people doing it are real stupid and they're smiling as they're acting. Like it's kind of easy, and the AI stuff so far has been even easier to sniff out.
Yeah.
But with this, I think this is real. And so there's a guy sitting in his car, and there's a kid breaking up with his girlfriend on the phone. Correct?
Yeah, and he's like begging her for forgiveness, you know, and she just keeps shutting him down, and he keeps trying.
And we both have been there.
Oh yeah, dude. You know, and he goes for about like 30 seconds until an older dude who's filming him from his phone, which is kind of weird, I guess. Like that's the part that where I'm like, all right, is this real or not? But
that's
like,
kind of Russian too, though, isn't it?
Yeah. He probably wanted to like send his friends a video of this annoying, like this kid crying over his girlfriend, but he intervenes and he gives the kid the talk that he needs at that moment in time.
All right, let's take a look at this. Have you ever been this distraught about a chick?
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude.
Now, have you been this distraught about a chick on the phone with her?
Not crying, but definitely like begging.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I think I've never been on the phone like this, but I think that when my fiance, however, 20 years ago, whatever this was now, when she dropped the fucking hammer on me, I remember sending some of the most embarrassing and frantic text messages that I have ever sent in my life. And then I remember blogging about it. I remember thank God, Bart, this was 10 years before it was. I went on my MySpace page and I wrote these big, long, weepy blogs. And it happened to correspond with the moment when Oscar and I got fired from Baltimore. So I was in between jobs too. So I had like 30 or 40 listeners, kind of where I am now. I have 30 or 40 listeners that cared if I lived or died. So they would like give me the feedback that I was looking for. They'd be like, oh man, you should have done that. You're going to be okay. You'll find a new girl. Like all this shit. So it was, I don't know that I did this, but it might've been more embarrassing, the shit that I did.
That's the worst when they're like, you'll find a new girl. You're like, no, I don't want a new girl.
Yeah.
Life cannot. Yeah, dude. And you're, God, dude. I mean, I've said some of the most embarrassing shit ever, dude. And, you know, it was back in the day on AIM, you know, AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh, yeah.
Put that shit up as my away message or my profile for everyone to read, dude. Yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was just the pits. I remember when we used to put each other in our away messages, and I remember when she stopped doing it, and then I had to like take her off the friends list because it was destroying me just to look at that. Oh God,
dude!
I wish fucking Khabib Nurmagomedov would have just jumped out of a van and kicked the shit out of me, which is what this guy should have done. See, if it's not fake, I think that, I mean, if it is fake, I think they would have picked a more quiet place to do this. It's less dirty, maybe.
Yeah, you're right, dude. And the guy filming is kind of like being like secretive about it. You know, he's like zoomed in on the dude, and it's shaking a little bit. He's in a car, it looks like. So
yeah.
I
so far buy it. He's had enough. Let me get out of Joe's car and go give this guy the fucking business.
Эй, встань, 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 выключи телефон. Телефон выключи. Ты кто? Ты мужчина или кто ты?
Да просто у меня с девушкой проблема.
Какая?
Да просто она говорит, что расстаться, типа, вот это все.
Тебе сколько лет?
17.
17 лет. Ты вообще глупый, что ли? Ты мужчина или кто?
Я мужчина.
Ты знаешь, сколько раз ты сейчас ей, пожалуйста, прости сказал? За что? Что ты сделал?
Это во мне, типа...
Что в тебе? У тебя 17 лет. Тебе 17 лет, ты молодой, у тебя жизнь только началась. Ты что там перед какой-то девочкой оправдываешься, я не знаю.
Да просто...
Как мужчина, собери себя.
Я люблю очень сильно ее.
It's very much like the Godfather speech, isn't it? You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, you're right.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like the age. I didn't see the age at first. He's younger than I was when I was dealing with Jamie Lee Fields. I was like 19 or 20.
Oh yeah, I was 23 or 24 when I was telling you about the horse shit. Maybe 22 when I was acting the way that I was telling you about.
Yeah. But damn, dude. I mean, dude, I like how he stands up right away when the dude comes to. Like, I feel like that wouldn't happen in this country. Like if a old dude,
no chance.
Yeah, like, get out of here, boomer. Like, you know what I mean? Some shit like that. So they definitely have like a different. His words are more impactful just because of the culture there. You can tell.
I think this is the most important advice this little fuck can get right now, and I totally wish that I had somebody at the time when I was acting this way to literally, I'd like them to shake the shit, like slap me, like fucking, like, what in the shit is wrong with you? You're 22 years old. You're gonna meet. Well, listen to what this guy says, then we can.
Ты знаешь, сколько ты женщин любить будешь в своей жизни? Ты что делаешь? Ты ненормальный, что ли? Зачем ты унижаешься перед ней? Даже если она тебя простит, сейчас убери телефон.
Хорошо.
Даже если она тебя простит сейчас, ты думаешь, она к тебе будет относиться как к мужчине?
Да нет.
Ты сейчас себя показываешь как тряпка, понимаешь?
Да.
A wimp.
Я просто сижу в машине, я слышу, думаю, ты что, с ума сошел, что ли?
Props to fucking Vladimir, dude, or whatever his name is, man. That's
Vlad.
I mean, you know, when Jamie, when you know, JLF, Jamie Lee Fields broke my heart. You know, that fucking bitch. But,
fucking hoe.
But dude, I remember like I was so desperate, and I was like reaching out to different people for advice on how to like win her back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do I fucking, and you know, some people would lie to me and say, dude, you know, just like tell her how you really feel, you know, and like maybe put it down in writing or something like that, and blah blah blah. Or
That's such bad advice.
I know, it's literally the worst thing you can do. But I remember my cousin, who was like fancied himself a little bit of a player. He responded to me. He was like, dude, I'll tell you what you need to do. He's like, and he was like, you need to completely forget about this chick. She's never going to go back to you. It's over, blah, blah, blah. Just move on with your life. And I remember being like pissed at him for saying that. I didn't really have the perspective back then. I just thought that he was annoyed with me for being a bitch. But like that's the closest thing I got to that type of speech.
Have you ever given anybody that advice and they stopped talking to you?
No. Have you?
I had a guy, I won't say who, but he was with somebody, and it was destroying him. Like, it literally is killing him right in front of me. And I've always been told, like, if you're honest in those situations, you risk the friendship.
Yeah.
You risk that person never speaking to you ever again, because it's basically like telling somebody that's an alcoholic that it doesn't want to admit it, like that they're an alcoholic, they're gonna fucking rage out. Mm-hmm. And I said to this guy, my advice to you is to never speak to her again, and to get as far away from her as you possibly can, if you want to get your life back in order. Like, as bluntly as I said it to you here. And our relationship has not been the same ever since I said that. Yeah, and it sucks because, like, you know, who knows if it was right or wrong. There's also a part of me where I'm like, even if it's someone I care for, it's like, I went through that bullshit. Like, maybe they just got to work through it themselves. And no matter what I say, all I'm going to do is put our relationship in jeopardy.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I think it's a little early for me to be thinking about this, but I do think about how like I've got 2 little girls. They're probably going to have to go through this, you know. And what am I going to say to them? Am I going to say like, suck it up? This is your first heartbreak. Everyone has to, you know, go through one, or I'll probably just let Jessica talk to them.
That's a good idea. But don't you think it's different? I mean, the crux of what we're talking about, though, is it's different with dudes than it is with girls.
Yeah,
it just is. We can delude ourselves as a society into thinking that it ain't. But this guy grabbing this little pussy and saying, nut up, you're going to meet a bunch of other chicks, act like a man, pull yourself together, have some decorum. Those aren't bad things. Those aren't toxic things. That's good advice.
If anything, the stuff about him saying that she won't respect you now anyways.
That, yes.
He's seen you like this. Like, that's so true. He was probably thinking too, like, I don't care. I'll still be with her even if she doesn't respect me. But like, there's nothing there if she's seen you like, you know, grovel and shit like that.
Also, I mean, as you mentioned with your ex, and I know for a fact with mine, once they shut it off, you could be the greatest orator, you know, mankind has ever known. You're not talking your way back into that situation.
Oh yeah, dude. The best chance you have of rekindling anything is just to pretend like they never existed. You know?
Yeah, but when you do that, you give yourself a better chance of just getting over it, and then you don't care if you rekindle it.
Right.
Because we're stupid. Like we'll throw it to an ex because we're just, you know, disgusting fucking pigs.
Yeah.
And then that you can find yourself back in a relationship. Like if we're the ones that are pulling the plug on it, it's real easy to go back the other way.
Yeah.
Now, when women turn it off, and it's been my experience, they already have somebody else. Like women already know what the next move is if they're going to pull that fucking ripcord that way.
Yeah. I mean, I know we joke around about it a lot. You know, my biological dad being in Morocco and stuff.
Sure.
But dude, when I saw this, I was like, fuck, man. Because I remember I talked to my mom a little bit when it was happening, and she would give me the typical, like, you know, female advice, like, you know, maybe get her some flowers.
No.
Or, you know what I mean? Some shit like that. I needed a dude who cared about me to be like, yo, it's, you know, you got to start going to the gym. I know, block her on Facebook.
Yeah, block her on. Exactly.
Right.
Don't torture yourself. Look, that's another problem, is that people of yesteryear didn't have to be, then you didn't hear from your ex ever again unless you saw her in school or something. Like if you're just sitting there watching her fucking Facebook statuses and seeing her dating, it's like, ugh, like fucking, how are you ever going to get over anything if you're torturing yourself with that?
Dude, I remember when I, like, 2 weeks after we broke up, I see on Facebook her roommate comments like, I saw you, where'd you go last night? I saw you leave the blah 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 with Josh.
Oh god,
you're glowing today or something.
Oh god.
And then I fucking, like a stupid little bitch, dude, I texted her like,
no,
who's, you know, see, this is how it is already. And she's like, we didn't do anything. We just went to his place and watched like Sports Center. And I was like, fuck you. Please come back to me.
I didn't. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. Just take a shower and let's go get some Papa John's.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did that, dude. That's fucking hurt. There's no excuse for that.
Brutal, yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's rough. Well, how about a palate cleanser? That got a little too serious for us. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know. X's every now and then.
This is the hottest new YouTube channel on all of YouTube. It's
called.
Real
quick, before you, can you just go to the channel and hit videos? Because this is the unlisted. This is the version that got 18 and up. I don't want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you hit videos.
Yeah, I see it. Here.
Yeah, that's the one without the butts in it.
Do you have two different? What, you already got two videos up?
Well, so I wanted to talk to you about this.
All right.
So, okay. For everyone listening, this is the new YouTube channel. It's Chad hooked me up. Chad's a master marketer, by the way.
Oh, stop it.
Hooked me up with the idea of dumbasses and big acid, where we will be featuring videos and compilations of hot girls falling down, but also unexpected videos of nice butts, things like that. Now, I don't like. Do you? Before we watch him, okay, so this channel has those two themes as the pillars.
Okay.
You think they should be combined into one, like in one video, or there should be videos dedicated to each topic.
I could see an argument for both, but if I'm looking for fat material, I don't usually like funny in between it too. So maybe like, I think what a great idea for you to do is put out both and then see which one gets more traction with the audience.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Does that make sense?
Because I'm gonna be honest, I kind of felt a little like perverted making the butt one.
Sure.
It's like
married man, 2 daughters. I can understand that.
Yeah, but the hot girls falling down one, that's grade A material.
Well, but hot girls falling down is still your theme. It's still under your tent pole because it's good looking chicks, but they're also stupid, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking for.
Right.
All right. So now let me ask you something. Is there any music in this that's going to get me hemmed up?
No, it's copyright free.
You're the fucking man. I'm sorry I even asked.
Oh, no.
Now, let me ask you something.
So stupid.
On Friday nights on Solid Dudes called She Gone, and what we do is we play videos like this, and then we ask everybody if we think that she lived or died after the video is done. So
I love that segment, dude.
I would love for hot asses and big asses to fucking be like the official presenter. If you just send me over a clip, and then that'll be the official clip for that night, and we can promote the YouTube channel.
You usually go through a couple though, right?
I mean, I've got a couple of mainstays that the one of the chicks sliding down the railing and then going down the staircase, and the other chick starts screaming, "Oh my God!" Like that's one of my favorites.
Okay, all right, yeah, dude, I would love to. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. Like I'm in this world with you, but I don't have your game, so like I'm gonna need to lean on you for this. I have to start this over because this. I mean, right now this is a banger right here. See, the problem is this is like starting if you're 50 Cent, this is like starting your album within the club. Like you're only gonna go down from here.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I wanted to catch people though. I love how she's like so. She's cautious enough to move the Diet Coke over.
My favorite, I will never not. When the legs are straight up in the fucking air, like there is no recovery from this.
But also, like, how hard did she hit her head on that wooden beam?
The whole thing shakes. The whole fucking room shakes. All right, one more time. We have to get through this. Oh. Look how happy she is too. I mean, it's even more entertaining when someone's really thinking they're about to kill it, right? They're about to do something amazing. Oh God! All right, let me pull myself together. Oh my God! Let me ask you something. How did she think that was gonna go?
I mean, I love when they're like the desire to be seen as sexy, like that negates all logic that would be in there.
But you have to not know how a tension rod works, where it's just you unscrew it until it's tight enough. There's not even any screws or flanges involved. Oh my God! Somebody failed there. Oh. Wait a minute. How did that one even work? Does she so she dives?
I think, yeah. Sorry.
Well, no, does she hit the slide, but like still in the diving motion?
I think she went at it with like way too much velocity. And she.
Oh my God, dude.
How is she like still she's like a plank? Her body's like a piece of wood. It kind of stays still and just kind of bounces off the slide.
That right there. I mean, first of all, this encompasses your entire theme. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The fucking head and the neck they have to be getting jammed up beyond all get out.
Oh, dude, yeah. I love the ooh in the background. It's,
the reactions are the best.
Oh! Watch the floor, because you're safe. Watch the floor. Jen!
that one.
Did you see how she was trying so hard to play it cool that she's still smiling after she bounced her face off the sand?
She's like, I fucking killed it. How did you think this was going to go? This was the best though. This fucking dude just whores this chick so bad. What a great idea. God damn, Iron Mike, $50.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you,
What
buddy.
was
Oh,
that?
I gotta
Free
give him
Palestine. No, I'm just kidding.
what's that?
I said free Palestine. I'm just kidding.
Oh no, oh no. You're arguing both sides today. That's admirable. Oh God. I gotta find his thing. I got a whole thing for Mike over here. You ever seen his pumps in a bump?
Yes.
It's the best. It's not fair that Hammer can dance the way that he can. He also has a Pringles can in his fucking pants.
Was that video like on MTV back in the day?
Well, there's two different videos. That one was so risque that they cut a more traditional Hammer video where he's just like dancing around with chicks.
Okay.
But the reason why that one was kind of controversial was Hammer had realized that gangster rap was becoming the biggest thing. So he tried to make like a gangster rap album after all of his dancing in parachute pants. And that was like the title track. I think it was called Del the Funky Headhunter, I think is what it was called. And that was the title track off of that album. So it was somewhat controversial.
That was him being gangster.
I don't know if it's him being gangster, but it's him trying to like be more adult like because The Chronic was out and all of that shit. Speaking of Jimmy, by the way, did you see this?
Is she all right? Is she insane? Will she know?
I think it's his finest moment.
I mean, sometimes I wonder, like, what is like his brain cells? What are they like wasted on? Like, it's not, it's not newsworthy issues. It's not how to run a MacBook. It's not, how to bring topics to the show. That's where it is, probably.
I think he watches Kingpin and he steals DVDs, and that's pretty much what his entire existence is. Mike, thank you so much, bud. I think he's a giant fan of your YouTube channel, and I know whether or not he can figure out how to subscribe to it. That'll be remain to be seen.
Yeah. Did you real quick? We were talking about MC Hammer. Did you hear Will Smith's new song?
So I saw that people were shitting on it, and then I saw people were like chopping and screwing it or speeding it up and making it into like a much better song. Like I saw that back and forth, but the second I saw the music video and it's supposed to be about hot chicks, and then he marches a bunch of chicks and like wearing hijabs out, and the chick's got a giant fucking tie down to the middle of her knees. I'm like, I don't have the time.
Yeah, I was watching it the other day. One of the comments said, this is like if you asked a gay dude to make a song about how much he likes girls.
Well, yeah, I mean, Will Smith was never really a Lothario, right? Like he's been married to Jada Pinkett Smith for a million years, and then was willing to let her have sex with other dudes.
He's trying to recap. Like his brand has taken such a hit with the whole her fucking the 23-year-old and her,
real tough.
The slapping Chris Rock and her fucking pulling out old letters from Tupac and shit like that. I can see he's like trying to like recapture some of that untouchableness that he had back in the day, but it's too late for him.
I do feel I feel that the people that are taking runs at Will Smith releasing music when he's 55 in 2025, it's like, well, what do you think it's going to sound like? This guy's never cursed. He's never sang about shooting guns or robbing everybody. So if you're into that, you're not going to be into this. He makes catchy kind of poppy fucking hip hop songs, and I think there's a place for that for people that like that type of music. I just don't know if they're willing to accept it from him right now.
Yeah.
It's really hard to qualify and quantify like how big of a fucking star he was for 20 goddamn years. I mean,
people compare it now to like who would they? If you ask like a 21-year-old, who would they compare that to? Like the biggest star on the planet?
Charlemagne, Michael B. Jordan,
maybe like a Mr. Beast.
Well, you know what? I didn't even think about that. It might not even be a fucking actor. You know, you're probably right.
But then still, like, even if it's a Mr. Beast, like Mr. Beast does not, outside of his demographic, people above the age of 35 do not give a fuck about him. Will Smith is like every single demo is like, holy shit.
But also, Will Smith has like made one of the greatest sitcoms of all time before he became the biggest movie star in the world. And he was on a run where if he had a movie, he also had the #1 song on the charts when the movie was out, regardless if it was a good song or not.
Yeah. I mean, he was on top of the world for a while.
Dude, that Getting Jiggy With It album that also Miami, if you go to his iTunes or Spotify, that Miami song is his #1 song by far. It's like hundreds and hundreds of millions of people have listened to it because I think they use it in a lot of commercials, and every time like sports organizations go to Miami, they play it. But there was like 10 fucking singles on that album.
Yeah.
And he'd already been a hip hop star and an actor for decades before that. So, you know what I think? You know what could happen to him, Bart, is you know how like Tom Cruise, it was like really installed the shit on him when he was jumping up and down on the fucking Oprah Winfrey's couch and the Katie Holmes shit. Now he's movie cinema Jesus. I think that could happen with Will Smith. I think Will Smith is talented enough to have another run left in him.
In movies?
Just in general, and whatever he wants to do.
You think he could do it in music? Really? I mean,
maybe not. Music is, I'm so out of touch with the hip hop community. Whenever I listen to what hip hop is now, I feel like what my dad used to say about rap when I used to listen to it. And I just don't want to be in that world.
I know. Yeah. I don't know. I feel it's weird. I feel bad for him because oh my God. Because he seems like the nicest dude in the world.
Yeah.
And his wife seems like the most evil woman in the world.
She seems insidious, which is great, though, because there's insidious women out there that people treat like they're great simply because they don't have dangly bits. And I feel like she's been wretched enough where everybody kind of knows she's wretched. You got to go. You said you were here till 5.
Hey, sweetie. You want to get on the camera?
I wouldn't do that.
No? Okay. All right.
I mean, I wouldn't do that.
All right. Well, she's just going to sit here and watch me.
You need to go? You can go if you want.
Oh, we could finish the
Yeah. Finish your nice plug. There's fucking 53 people. Well, you've never gotten a bump like this in your life, Barbara.
Hell yeah.
My head hit the wall.
See, the slow, I got to go back to that one, though. The slow buildup where, like, it takes 10 minutes for them to actually stop falling is one of my favorite bits.
Yeah, it's the best.
Look how long this brought. There's where she realizes it.
You know, she thought she was killing it, too.
Oh, yeah. She's got her outfit on. I guarantee she's getting a lot of attention. She's still falling. Oh,
gosh. Did you hear what she?
No, tell me.
Did you hear what she said? She
What
goes.
did she say?
She goes, "Yes, you're a queen."
Yes, you're a queen.
Spills her milkshake or whatever.
Is that a bubble? It's got to be something obnoxious for her to drink.
You're wearing the jacket on one arm.
Oh my God.
My favorite. I mean,
What's that?
My favorite is like when they think they're killing it, and then
You know, my favorite bit right now, though, is a guy that it's fake, but he's got such a great angle. He's a TikTok guy, and he walks around like this, and then he tries to walk on a treadmill, and he does a complete flip, and the treadmill spits him off the back. Have you seen that guy?
Oh, no. What's his name?
I don't know, but he's an 11 out of 10, and there's always like a hot chick walking on the treadmill, and he goes up and goes, huh, and like points to the treadmill. He takes one step, and it flips him completely off and shoots him off the back of the treadmill. Then he just gets up and keeps walking.
That's a great bit.
If anybody in the chat can hook me with a link to that guy, he is fucking hilarious. What was she doing?
She was trying to like fix her hair, and she like, you know how you put it in front of your face,
yeah,
little ponytail, but she went way too hard.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
There's an injury there. That's knee and ankle.
Oh, yeah.
You got
That's
the devil in there.
MCL and ACL. At least kind of.
That's a classic. Oh, damn, dude. That is fucking fantastic. Hey, look, there we are. There's the show right there.
Oh, nice.
Very
Oh,
cool. All right. So what is the YouTube channel, bud?
Just search dumbasses and big asses.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I'll get you put over the top. We're going to get to 100 subscribers today, and then the next stop is monetization. That's what we're all looking for.
We'll do this again. I mean, if you'll have me, we'll do this
September?
No. Maybe after my camping trip this weekend.
That was the bummer. You were supposed to come with me to call the action from Glen Burnie when Jim Jester is going to be knocking the shed down.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. So what's the lineup going to be like now?
I think it's just me and Biker Sean now. I think that's all it is, because Ant-Man is going to be at the Great Wolf Lodge babysitting his niece.
Okay, that's weird. But Biker Sean's good though.
He's great. And also there's going to be some listeners up there. We're going to be making water balloons, and Jimmy's going to be dressed up. He's got all kinds of weapons from his parents' basement that we're going to have out there. I think it's going to be the greatest CD we've ever done.
Wes is Wes the Barber's cousin, or who is it? No, Dorsey's brother lives near them.
Dorsey Art's brother and Wesley the Barber's childhood friend.
That's right. That's right.
Live right down the street from Jim Jester's house. Because what I've learned is that every single person in Baltimore knows every single other person in Baltimore, specifically in Glen Burnie. Have you ever been to Glen Burnie?
No.
I really wish you were going to come up. All right, hold on. Let me show you the cover art before you go. You all right?
Yeah, my daughter's asked me why I have so many empty bottles right here.
There's the CD cover art. I don't know if you're familiar with Barty, but that is the water treatment plant, which is of course the shit station that goes back and forth between Dundalk and Essex every single year. So.
Why it smells so bad? Okay.
Yep. That's why the entire area smells like shit.
You think there's a chance that he actually hits up what's it called? God, why am I blanking here?
What?
Your real estate sponsor,
Joe Azer.
Joe Azer, duh.
He's gonna be really hurt. He loves you.
I know. I love him too. You think he's gonna hit him up? And
no. He had a fucking perfect house that another listener of mine, Chip Fuqua, was willing to sell to Jim at an enormous discount. He's never gonna do shit. The only thing that's gonna get Jim out of that house is fire, and I might have to provide that for him. Now we gotta take this part out of the fucking show and use it against me at a later time. That's the only thing that's gonna get him moving.
Or dude, if he had a side chick that lived out in one of those cities, I bet he would move his life there for him.
He claims that his wife knows he stepped out and they are still together. So I don't even know if that would be compelling enough, because he is never going to do anything to rock the boat. Never, not once. Remember, he has no money. Iron Mike started a clothing brand for him, built the website, Bustles printed the shirts, and Jim just would never ask me to plug them on the air. Just would never do it. He would have sold. And then my listeners were just finding it, just stumbling across the brand and ordering the shirts. The people were wearing the shit. By the way, stop doing that. Like, stop supporting this. That's not, buy my shirts. Don't buy his fucking shirts. It drives me nuts.
That is insane. Yeah. That's
insane,
great,
man. All right, get out of here. Thank you, buddy.
All right, dude.
Good to see you, bud.
Yeah, we'll do this again soon.
I'm a fan of that channel. Thank you.
All right, brother. Later.
There he is. The great Othman Bouchereb, Hungara Bungara himself. Thank you to Barty Jannetty for being a part of YouSchoode today. We'll get him back on, and please go subscribe to his YouTube channel. We have so much shit to get to still. I'm recording the chaddukesshow tonight with Steve Pie Taster and Wesley the Barber, and I think Dick Smokehan. So I got to take off in about an hour to do that. But until then, yes, this is the cover art for Hot Men Shed, the very next CD exclusive episode. I don't know when it'll be available, but we are going up Sunday to tape this in Jim Jester's backyard. Boyets, I agree. Jesse James, I agree. Looks fantastic. Aaron Mike Sleep, thank you again for the $50 super chat. It is greatly appreciated. What do you guys think of this? They're hockey fighting on BKFC. They're doing hockey fights. They get into a hockey arena and they throw fisticuffs. Why no one has thought of this in the past with the popularity? I mean, how many people, how many necks that you know of have you encountered in your life when they say, I only watch hockey for the fighting? I feel like I've heard that. I only watch NASCAR for the races. I feel like I've heard that 7 million times in my life. And why it's taken this long, I got no fucking clue. But it has. Credit to BKFC. I believe they call it Ice Wars, for finally deciding to do the all Crunch Berries Captain Crunch. Just overloading us with sugar, giving us exactly what we want. It's been a long time coming. All right, here's an example, I suppose, of what this looks like. And here's the question I ask you in the chat. Does this have any staying power at all? How the fuck do you train for this? How do you train for fighting on ice skates? I mean, I guess hockey players do it. But what is the how much do you have to get hockey? Are these MMA guys? Are these bare knuckle guys? Are these boxers? Are these hockey players? Are these power slap? I think this has more legs than power slap. How do you get better at this? I don't know, man. I feel like that would be a reason to have the boys over. I don't know how much pay-per-views are, but I'll use any excuse in the world to make queso dip, drink 14 Miller Lights, have the boys over to funk up the couch. Car jiu-jitsu and tire wrestling is a thing. I'm on this. It reminds me a little bit of Fight Circus. We're going to have to probably start covering Fight Circus a little bit more on this show. It's absolutely fantastic. And whenever I watch it, I think this is something I would like to do color commentary for. If you guys aren't familiar with Blob Tang, you probably should get familiar with Blob Tang. That's something that I think could work, is if they incorporated it into Fight Circus. But that's all the way over to Thailand. I would watch this. I don't know if I'd watch it more than once. I don't know if it has any lasting power. But it's something I certainly would give one go to, even if it was a pay-per-view. If you're talking like $29.99, I'm not paying UFC prices for that. But I will certainly give it a go. Okay. Normally I don't handle anything heavy on this show, but I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I'm curious if you guys have been following this story. There was an NFL player. His name was Henry Ruggs III. And a few years back, I think it was 4 years back at this point, he was driving under the influence and he committed a crime. He hit another car and the car caught on fire and the woman inside the car and her dog burned alive. And he'd been in jail ever since. And so I guess he gets out in 2026, maybe 2026, 2027. I'm sure we'll find out. So he's, I guess, now on some sort of work program, special release type deal. And he went out and apologized, kind of, to the family of the girl that he ended her life. Now, he didn't do it intentionally. I assume he was not convicted of that. This hits on a lot of different things I have a lot of different opinions on, and I really feel passionately about. And that is, I think one of the most important things that we can do in our society to make it better is to break the prison cycle, is to have these guys that get locked up stop just becoming better criminals and making better connections while they're incarcerated, and actually get them rehabilitated, get them to a state where they can be rehired, where they can re-enter society. Like, that's just incredibly important for all of us. And that's why I support companies like Dave's Killer Bread or anybody that kind of focuses on doing this. Now, you're taking an awful risk, Vader. This had better work, because I bet there's a lot of guys that just ain't ever going to be right. Can't get right type of dudes. But the better job that we can do of not turning jails and prisons into criminal factories, I think that benefits all of us walking around in society. So I'm kind of interested in how this story is unfolding, and I wanted to discuss it here, even though it's not normally what we cover. But this is Henry Ruggs, who played for the Raiders, speaking, and kind of speaking to a group of people that wants to accomplish exactly what I'm talking about, which is
he's a former Raiders
doing a better job of getting guys out of prison and keeping them out of prison.
Wide receiver Henry Ruggs publicly apologized now to the family of the woman he killed in a car crash nearly 4 years ago. He's on special release right now from prison and spoke at this local Hope for Prisoners event just last night. He issued an apology to the family of Tina Tintor, who he killed while driving drunk in a sports car and speeding on November 2nd of 2021.
One that I wish I can turn back the hands of time. I would love for them to meet the real Henry Ruggs and not the one that was escaping from something. You know,
I don't like that already. I don't know what he's working through, but right there, to disassociate completely from the incident itself, I don't know that that's taking full culpability. And quite frankly, I'm guessing that family would rather never know you at all, considering what took place. If you want to turn back the hands of time so that a woman and her dog didn't burn alive, yeah, I would agree with that. But whatever you're going through, it doesn't justify driving 158 miles an hour drunk and killing somebody. I think we could all agree to that.
I sincerely apologize for not only being a part of that situation.
You're not a part of that situation. You are that situation. You actually are that situation. There's an apology that people like to use all the time. You guys have probably been given this apology in your life. And that is, somebody says, if I hurt your feelings, then I'm sorry. That's not a fucking apology. That's not you taking any type of ownership whatsoever. That's actually pushing the issue off onto me. If I hurt your feelings, if you're upset by that, then I'm sorry. That was not my intention. Maybe it wasn't. That's also not really an apology. So the fact that his apology seems to be about him being a part of this situation doesn't really cut the mustard for the shootster. Chad Prather said, I'm sorry you feel this way. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the apology. We've all gotten it, and it don't hold water. It don't matter. It don't amount to much.
But the fact that, you know, not to take a shot at you, but the fact that my face is always in the news, my face is always in the newspaper. So they have to constantly be reminded of the situation, be reminded of me, and see, you know, those memories have to continue to rise.
Ruggs is a former first.
They're probably going to continue to rise no matter what, because their daughter burned alive inside of a car. So look, I want Henry Ruggs to get a second chance. Does that mean he gets to play in the National Football League? That's kind of the conversation I want to have here, and one that if I was on the radio, I'd open up the phone lines about. It's like, do you get another chance to have this remarkable privilege of playing in the NFL? Now, if he's talented enough and a team is willing to, quote unquote, take the risk, I'm not going to go out there with a poster board and say that they shouldn't. I just don't know if that's something that a team should be willing to do, even though I believe in redemption. Like, I want him to be able to come back out of this a better person and work the rest of his life to try to prove to everybody he's not the guy that made that mistake. I think that's what any of us should want to do if something like this happens to us or somebody that we love. That's the part about this that I've got a lot of mixed emotions about.
First round draft pick with our Raiders as he was driving more than 150 miles per hour when he crashed into Tina Tinter and her dog Maxwell. They were driving near Rainbow Boulevard and Spring Valley Parkway. He pled guilty back in May of 2023 to felony DUI causing death and misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter, and he's currently serving that prison sentence of 3 to 10 years right now, and obviously out on release and transitional housing right now.
So apparently he's going to be able to play again on in 2006. So I went back because just hearing that, hearing about the crime, they're like DWI, somebody died. He's saying that he's sorry that he was a part of it. I wanted some more context as I was kind of sussing out the way that I wanted to come at this issue. And I found a video from 4 years ago when this took place. And not only does it show how fast the fucking car was going, which is, I've never seen a car on the street going this fast. But it kind of gives you a little bit more of the details about how it unfolded at the time. And I think that's something we should remember when we're talking about, when you put time and distance in between an issue, you kind of forget the circumstances around it. You forget the severity. So this is from back then.
We have new surveillance footage you will only see on Channel 8, capturing the intense speed Henry Ruggs was driving just moments before that deadly crash. 8 News Now reporter Victoria Saha joined us live from where that crash happened that killed a 23-year-old woman and her dog. Victoria?
The memorial for Tina Tinter is growing, as you can see here, but those who tried to save her are still healing from those traumatic moments. And today we take a look at how strangers did their very best to rescue her. This is video 8 News Now obtained from the Vizcaya apartments near the scene of the crash. This is what driving at 156 miles per hour looks like. You can see just how fast Henry Ruggs was going based on the speed of the other cars.
I've been young and dumb before. I've drank before. I've made bad decisions. I can't even imagine how disassociated with reality you would have to be to drive 158 miles an hour on a road like that. And then the backdrop of seeing the other cars that are just driving at an appropriate amount of speed really puts it into context.
Around him. This very same complex is where Alexander Hart works as security for the night. Police reports show he saw Ruggs' car drive by the complex just as you see in this surveillance video. Moments later, he heard the crash and got in his security car. He tells police as soon as he got on scene, he noticed Ruggs laying on the road, then heard screams coming from Tina Tinter's Toyota RAV4. He jumped right into action to pull Tinter out of her RAV4 as it burst into flames, but the smoke and heat from the flames was too intense. His security company says Hart was declining on-camera interviews, but says he suffered something very traumatic and is angered by the details of this crash. Another witness, Tony Rodriguez, happened to be driving by. He stopped and grabbed Tintor to try to pull her out, but she was stuck. He also was overcome by the smoke and heat from the fire and had to back away.
It's fucking terrible. So when you hear that and you hear the circumstances, and then you hear the response of, I'm so famous, they have to constantly being reminded that I was involved in this situation. It don't feel like enough. It doesn't feel like you feel bad enough for this, in my personal opinion. It also feels like there's still some deflection going on. And I think what needs to happen before there can be any type of reconciliation with the NFL is there has to be 100% atonement. That's what I would want. If I was a general manager, if I was Trent Baalke, I would want to know that you 100% understand that this is your fault. You weren't going through anything that justified this behavior to cost someone else their life. This is a 23-year-old that will never have another shot at life or fulfilling her dreams. And so maybe it would be best if you spent the rest of your days not playing in a really glamorous, fame and wealth-filled job that's going to give you a really incredible life. Now, he's still got to be good enough to play. There's a lot of things you have to get to before we even get to that point. The other side of this is, and I stand by this, is somebody, if he is a free citizen, if he is out, if Henry Ruggs is out and about, if people didn't like when I said this, if Bill Cosby was out of jail, was not arrested, when he was out for whatever that period of time was, I forgot, and he wanted to do stand-up comedy, I feel like he has the right to do stand-up comedy. If there is a comedy club that's willing to pay him, if there are people that are willing to buy tickets, it's kind of what the free market's all about. If the Green Bay Packers or the Pittsburgh Steelers, who would be a team that could fucking pull this off? The New England Patriots, San Francisco 49ers, the Raiders could never do it. The Browns could never do it. Jacksonville, like, it has to be a franchise that can handle the storm. Like when the Philadelphia Eagles gave Mike Vick his shot to come back. The only difference is Mike Vick is one of the most spectacular football players we've ever seen. Right? And at the end of the day, is as horrendous as I found what Mike Vick did. He didn't kill any people. So this is even a step further than that. But the Eagles decided that it was worth the squeeze, and the Eagles got a quarterback. It wasn't, a slot wide receiver, which is, I assume, what Ruggs would be. So I just don't know. It's the same reason why Ray Rice never got to recover from his video, but Ben Roethlisberger got to recover from his accusation. It depends on the position you play. It depends on the value that you're going to get out of the player, and if the juice is worth the squeeze. DWIs are tough, man. Like, I don't know what percentage of the population has a couple of beers, goes to happy hour and drives home. I would say a lot. I would say if we actually, honestly, we got the True Serum and the sodium pentothal from True Lies, and we started injecting people, I think we'd find a high level of our populace has been known to drink and drive. I don't think any of them have done what Ruggs has done at that rate of speed, causing that type of an accident. So it punches a lot of different fucking buttons in me, where I do want prisoners to get another shot. I do want them to re-enter society. I want them to get a shot to workplaces. I want them to be reclamation projects, redemption projects. Like, I think that benefits society as a whole. I also think that a free market is important. Somebody's fucking canceled, like Louis C.K.'s raking in cash. There was a period of time where he was napalm, right? Where he was radioactive, and then that subsided, and now he can kind of go out and do what he wants to do again. The free market stipulates when that is, right? So that's kind of the way America works, is you're not a prisoner. You're not in prison right now. You can go out and ply your trade if somebody is willing to pay you for it. Same reason why I don't think there should be an NFL draft, right? I'm 19 years old. I can die for my country. I can buy a car. I can be executed for a capital offense. I go buy a pack of cigarettes. But I can't go to the New Orleans Saints and say, do you want to hire me to be a football player? I can't drive on out to Seattle, go up there and be like, hey, can I join training camp, see if I can be good enough to play with you guys? The fuck is that all about? It's un-American. So some of this kind of falls into that category. But me personally, I would need to see a lot more from Ruggs as far as him understanding the gravitas of what he did. Kevin Smith said, if Mike Vick and Dante Stallworth got a chance, not the same circumstances, I guess. If someone wants him, who am I to stop it? I'm not paying him. Well, you're not going to stop it. But as a fan, if you are a fan of professional football, you can have a say in whether or not you believe it's appropriate. I think we all are owed that. So yeah, that is a sticky wicket, to say the least. And it's interesting that is unfolding in front of us. I talked about this a little bit on the Chaddukes show yesterday, but I am fascinated with the state of the chain restaurant in our country right now. As you guys, I think you know, I'm a big Texas Roadhouse fan. Can't get enough of it. Think it's a fantastic product. Service is great. Usually, food's great. Just about every time. The biggest problem I've had going to a Texas Roadhouse is it's usually fucking packed. The word's gotten out. And I love the story of Chili's. We covered it on this show, how Chili's has had this redemption arc where they've gone back and they gave themselves a long, hard look, just like Domino's Pizza did, and said, what are we fucking up? How do we lose control of this thing? They went into their kitchen. They looked at their ingredients. They looked at their employees. They looked at the way they made their food, revamped all that, made it better. And then on top of it, they came up with this idea. Hey, look, fast food is way too expensive. People are fucking pissed off about fast food. Look at all these TikToks. What do? Well, let's give them a burger and fries and a Coke, a Pepsi, and a fucking nachos for less than a Big Mac. It was like this perfect storm that they created, right? They were the cold front and the warm front. It wasn't just luck. The reason why Chili's is back on top. And so it begs the question, what the fuck is wrong with all these other restaurants? All these other restaurants that are closing all over the place. The Red Lobsters. We were going through the list before. And I found this story on Applebee's. Now, I haven't been to an Applebee's since 2006. I fucking hate Applebee's. I don't remember the last time I had a good experience in Applebee's. You'll hear in this piece that apparently Applebee's was the cock of the walk for some point. I don't remember those days. Does anybody in the building remember really enjoying Applebee's? I've always just assumed that Applebee's did well because in the middle of this country, there's not a lot of variety. You live in a small town. You maybe have an Applebee's and then a Whataburger or a McDonald's. If you're lucky, maybe a Ruby Tuesday. And that's it. If you're going out to dinner, you're going to Applebee's because there's everything else is 2 hours away. I assume that's how Applebee's survived. Now, when we're talking about it on the show this week, you know, it was pointed out to me when you are poor, Applebee's was doing this bit where they're giving you $1 Bahama Mamas or whatever, so you can go there and get fucked up if you're on a budget, especially if you're living in a place like New York. I hadn't thought about that, but I found this very interesting, and it's going to be an uphill crawl for these guys, but I would prefer them get better than not. I think what you're going to learn, though, is when you have franchisees, when you get people involved that aren't working directly for you, it's difficult to get anything done.
Line, please. Number one reason you belong at Applebee's. It was America's favorite grill and bar. The biggest full-service restaurant chain in the U.S.
The biggest full-service restaurant chain in the U.S. What year was that?
At its peak, nearly 1,900 restaurants and about $5 billion in sales.
There you go.
That was Applebee's for much of the 2000s. Wall Street once loved its parent company, Dine Brands.
Applebee's and IHOP are both the #1 brands in their respective categories. Plus, remember, the results were real good.
But since its peak around a decade ago, the brand has struggled to grow its sales and store count. U.S. sales are down around $600 million, and the brand has closed more than 350 locations.
Applebee's is closing a few restaurants a year, right? And we're working hard to get that number positive. So at this point in time, investors are focusing on what they believe is the weaker link in the chain.
You would think that if you're contracting your footprint, that some of those sales would find their way into another Applebee's, but the sales are going elsewhere.
Yeah, why the fuck would anyone? So you're saying you're contracting your footprint? That would make people drive to other nearby Applebee's because of the scarcity? That is the most flawed fucking logic I've ever heard in my life. No, you find a different restaurant. I mean, there's no Pizza Hut that delivers to me. Guess what? I somehow managed to get pizza delivered to my house. It's not that big of an issue.
Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse, and more recently, its biggest competitor, Chili's.
This is fucking revolting to me. Who amongst you goes to Olive Garden for a meal? I mean, you have to be so destitute for options. I think people love Olive Garden. Olive Garden is Subway. I find it odious that it exists. I can't imagine not putting forth a modicum of effort. I am sympathetic if you work in a building that has a Subway built into the lobby. You work downtown, you work in a city. You just need to get something. You forgot to bring lunch. You're down and up. Okay. We've all been there. But if you don't respect yourself enough to fucking figure out where there's a mom and pop sandwich spot somewhere within a couple of miles of where you work or where you play, holy shit. Why would I ever respect your time if you don't respect your time enough to do something like that? And Olive Garden takes the fucking cake. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that their gimmick of the free breadsticks, the free salad, they do free soup too. I feel like they also do free soup. That people are just so swept up in that shit. And they take their kids there and play with the mediocre fucking pasta. I don't know what it is. I'm incensed. I am incensed that people eat at Olive Garden. There are 15 one-off Italian restaurants within 10 miles of my house. All of them would have to burn to the ground. And even then, I might just stop eating Italian food if my only option was Olive Garden. Thank God there's not an Olive Garden on the Outer Banks. I'm offended there's an Outback on the Outer Banks. Sorry, this has nothing to do with anything except this fucking graph. The Texas Roadhouse had to beat out Olive Garden to take over the number one stunner spot on this list. Hopefully Chili's is next. God willing.
Have all surpassed Applebee's in terms of overall sales. The share price of Chili's parent company, Brinker International, is up around 150% over the past year, while Dine Brands is down around 40%.
That's gotta fucking sting, because if I put a pistol to your head right now and said, what is the difference between Chili's and Applebee's? I mean, I couldn't tell you. Could you tell me? Is Chili's Tex-Mex? I don't even know. They make biggies. They make fries. They got a generic bar. I don't know one thing different from those two menus. Those are synonymous restaurants to me. If I drove past a Chili's or an Applebee's 6 months ago, it would be the equal. There's got to be something better. That would be my response every single time. And yet look at the disparity between the two. How did that fucking happen?
So why isn't Applebee's seeing the same success as Chili's?
Good question.
And
Right.
What's the company doing to turn things around? Applebee's first opened its doors in 1980 under the name TJ Applebee's RX for edibles and elixir.
Anybody else knew that? Did anybody else know that? I know edibles and elixirs probably have a different word association now they did back then, but I think the first step would be to change the name back to TJ Applebee's Edibles and Elixirs, and then hand out edibles as your customers walk in so they get good and stoned and eat your shitty food.
In Decatur, Georgia. The business was sold a few times over the next couple of years and began franchising under the name Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. It grew rapidly in the US, jumping from 100 restaurants in 1989 to over 1,500 locations by 2003.
We think the 90s were really good. Like, we always miss the 90s, but that's when the fucking Applebee's spread like herpes across this fucking country. Hit the like button!
By then, it was the biggest sit-down restaurant chain in the US.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
IHOP acquired Applebee's in 2007, forming the company that is today known as Dine Brands.
We're not going to mention Fuzzy's Taco Shop at all?
Its share price peaked in 2015. But since then, it's been a bumpy ride for Dine stock. The company spent $75 million implementing wood-fire grills, but the hand-cut steaks made in them were too expensive for its value-oriented consumer.
Yeah, I mean, you should not try to make anything nice. If you're in Applebee's, if the CEO of Dine In or whoever Applebee's parent company is, their first instinct should be, our customers are poor and they don't mind shit food. I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but if you're bluntly going to explain how Applebee's has a fan base, it's like they're probably mostly thrifty people that don't necessarily care as much about the quality of their food as others. Value probably is the most important aspect of what we do. Getting people in and out of here without breaking the fucking bank. Wood-fired steaks? Let's leave that to somebody else. We're Crapplebees.
It sent the stock price tumbling in 2016 and 2017. The announcement of a new CEO and the introduction of dollar margaritas helped rebound the stock, but ultimately the pandemic sent it crashing again. And despite an initial post-pandemic rebound, Dine stock has been on a years-long decline.
There's just nothing exciting to grasp onto unless you can show that you can develop. And unfortunately, Dine has been shrinking for a number of years.
We are crazy undervalued, in our opinion.
Great way
when
to
you
put
look
it.
at the fundamentals of the company, the cash flow that we generate year in and year out, the stock at the moment is not anticipating what we think are the fundamentals of the company and the potential for growth.
I need to learn to spin like this. Like, you know, I know there's only 45 people watching right now, but we anticipate a lot more. We don't think the viewer count of YouSchoode represents the quality of the program. I'm just going to tell myself to that as I drink myself into a fucking stupor this evening.
Dine Brand's recent struggles with Applebee's have really centered on its inability to grow sales at its existing restaurants. Applebee's has seen declines for 8 consecutive quarters.
If I were to poll the investors in terms of what's important to the stock, I would say Applebee's same-store sales, for whatever reason, kind of punches above its weight. And it might just have to do with, okay, well, we can kind of benchmark it against Chili's. We can benchmark it against Darden. IHOP actually is the bigger profit contributor, largely because they own some real estate.
Just last year, 2 Applebee's franchisees filed for bankruptcy within weeks of each other.
It's a warning sign, but it isn't anything I think is going to be a material problem in the next year or two. You have to get the core customer back. Once you kind of fall out, it's very difficult to turn around unless you get somebody that is super skilled that's able to do it. But even then, your brand is kind of faded.
In January 2020.
I think the worst thing these companies can do, Applebee's is clearly the Pepsi and the Pepsi Coke relationship. I find myself a lot of times rooting for the underdog in some of these brand wars. Like I always pulled, for some reason, I always found myself pulling for 7-Up over Sprite, Pepsi over Coke, Mr. Pibb over Dr. Pepper. And so if you're looking at this, I think the worst thing that you can possibly do is just mirror what your opponent is doing. Mirror what the company that you're trying to usurp is going about their business. You got to find like something else. You got to find a different avenue to kind of separate yourself from the pack. At the end of the story, I don't want to, it's a spoiler alert. I think they figured out a way, and it don't have much to do with changing the menu or putting it in a different building. It has to do with combining forces. Nathan Farley says the best servers and bartenders don't work at places like Applebee's. Very long bad service will tank a restaurant. I mean, that's a great point. I think one of the reasons why you look at these places that everybody loves, like Buc-ee's is loved universally. Chick-fil-A, as much as, 5-10 years ago, left-wingers are going crazy about Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is loved universally. And what they do is they pay well. They pay their fucking employees really well. They take care of them. And so they're able to keep good employees because they're not constantly trying to find new places to work where they'll be able to earn a decent wage or will they feel appreciated. I think we've talked about it on this show. If you've ever been to Buc-ee's, there is a sign out in front of Buc-ee's with all of the salaries. Kevin Smith, I'm not sure if you're still in the room, but if you are, could you find that sign and Facebook message it over to me? I'd like to show it. And I don't know that I want to sit here and search for it while I'm doing this with you guys. But they pay ridiculous amounts of money. Like store managers are making 6 figures. I mean, the guys that go get the fucking carts are making $20 an hour. And so because of that, it's what Nathan's talking about. You're able to keep good people. You're not having to just hire the shitheads that were fired from the TGI McFridigans across the goddamn street, which I think is what a lot of these people have to end up doing. And then it goes to you're having a bad experience. It doesn't matter how cheap it is because it's a shit experience. And you're not going to go back for a shit experience, even if it's an expensive one.
25, the company laid off 9% of its corporate workforce. Dine Brands blames sluggish 2024 sales on macroeconomic pressure. But that hasn't hurt its biggest competitor, Chili's, whose same-store sales increased by double-digit percentages over the past 4 quarters.
Our main competitor had a fantastic 2024, and we congratulate them for that. It's been a horse race between us and Chili's for years. And at any given time in a horse race, one horse's nose is ahead of the other. And so we've got to run a little bit faster in 2025, and we're doing a lot of work to get there.
Doherty Enterprises operates 80 locations across New Jersey and New York, including the location right behind me, which is the world's largest Applebee's right here in Times Square.
Can you fucking imagine eating at Applebee's? You brave the homeless. You brave the fucking protests, the violent crime, the prices, the expense. You go through everything that you have to go through to be in New York City. And you decide, hey, we finally made it. If I make it here, I can make it anywhere. Let's treat ourselves at Applebee's. No. We're not going to go to the Brooklyn Diner. We're not going to go to Famous Ray's. No. We're not going to Morton's. Even going to Morton's seems like it's a fucking, was it Luger's? Peter Luger's. No. There's an Applebee's in Times Square. Dinosaur Barbecue would be more admirable. I want to stand outside that fucking Applebee's that has a sign that says we serve breakfast, and I'm going to profile the shit out of people. They're going on Schoode's watch list. And they are going to be the first to go when the shit goes down.
My father, Ed, he went into business for himself in 1985. He heard of this little concept called Applebee's back in the early 90s. I was there on day one working as a busboy and a host and a server eventually, and grew with the business, and have been part of Applebee's for virtually all of my adult life.
And all kidding aside, I fucking love a story like that. I love a story like that. Start off at a job. You know, I got to go spend $120,000 on a college education. I got a better idea. How about you start a job when you're 16 and you just bust your fucking ass? I had a dude that I went to school with. His older brother started work. I think it was Shoppers Food Warehouse, which is kind of ironic because I don't think they're around anymore. And maybe that invalidates the entire point that I'm about to make. But he started working at Shoppers Food Warehouse when he was 16 years old. We all start graduating. We don't know what we want to do. Someone's going to Nova. Someone's going to GMU. Other people have better options. They're going to... He'd already been working at Shoppers Food Warehouse for 3 years. He turns 18, 19. He becomes the shift manager. Eventually that motherfucker was a store manager making 6 figures while I was spanking it with a thumb up my ass, trying to figure out how to be an adult. Trying to learn how to be an adult. Something which, by the way, I'm not confident that I've actually accomplished. The notion of the person that goes to work, sticks with it, and then turns it into a career for themselves, turns it into a life for themselves. I love that. So I'm busting this guy's balls, and it ain't fair. It tain't fair. I love it when people do that.
Applebee's is almost entirely franchised, but just 30 operators control 1,450 locations.
Franchisees are such a pain in the ass.
Across the U.S. For comparison, Dine Brand's other chain, IHOP, has 235 operators for its about 1,700 locations. Being almost entirely franchised makes its parent company, Dine Brands, an asset-light business.
Investors tend to like asset-light businesses. You know, you're guaranteed a certain range of earnings, even if same-store sales move plus or minus in one direction. So that's why the asset-light model works for a public company. But in terms of Dine Brands, it just doesn't have a lot of attention because there aren't many franchised full-service businesses to compare it to.
Only 8% of Chili's U.S. restaurants are franchised. This business model made it a lot easier for the chain to pull off a major comeback last year.
You don't want to have to argue with these dickheads. If you go into your Applebee's and you look at it and say, this looks like shit, it looks like it's 1996 in here, we've got to fucking give ourselves a facelift. No one's going to come in here with it looking like this. We need a fish tank. And then you're going to have to deal with these cranky franchisees that don't want to drop $60,000 or whatever it's going to take to do that. How are you going to implement the changes? I don't think you want to be barking directives at your franchisees. I think maybe this makes it almost impossible for Applebee's to pull this off.
Decisions that are made at the corporate level can be executed more quickly. System-wide changes at Applebee's requires buy-in from its franchisees.
If Dine Brands went to their franchisees and said, hey, we want you to, increase your head count by 10%, franchisees might, have something to say about that. And there's multiple stakeholders at the table.
As fast food has become increasingly expensive, both Chili's and Applebee's have focused on deals.
This Chili's 3 for me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
$9.99. Applebee's really big meal deal.
it just can't suck. You know, I always say that whenever I'm defending Five Guys, and I think most of you that have ever listened or watched any of the shit that I do know that I don't fucking buy into everyone constantly bitching about how expensive Five Guys is, because Five Guys is fucking awesome. And every time I go to Five Guys, I have an amazing meal. Like, my burger's great. The fries are great. They got peanuts I spit on the floor. There's Coke Zero in the fountain. Like, they check every box that I want. I'm willing to pay for that. I'll scrimp in other areas. You know what I mean? Like, I'll save money in other places. I'll turn the lights off and keep the air conditioner at 76 instead of 74. You know, there's shit I'm willing to sacrifice, because when I go out to fucking have a meal, I want to go out someplace that I like, that I'm going to enjoy myself. It's why I don't mind paying at Capital Grill. If I know it's going to be a great experience, then that's worth it. And the people that just sit there and bitch and moan and complain about it, it's like, all right, there's plenty of other options. Go get a shittier burger at a shittier place for $2 less. And if that makes you more happy, c'est la vie. It's not the way I'm going to go about my business. But their solution, well, it's not a solution necessarily, but it's an option here at the end. I think it's pretty interesting.
Ultimately, Applebee's needs to prove its value to the consumer, not just through the cost of its food, but through consistently good experiences at its restaurants.
What's really important is the repeat business. So the same customers come back on a regularly scheduled basis. That's the primary thing they need to do. And then they also need to emphasize carryout. Because what carryout does is you take an existing space and you're running more volume through it.
Another way Applebee's is looking to drive volume and grow its locations is by opening combination restaurants with IHOP.
This is the way. This is the way. To pilfer from the Mandalorian. This is how they're going to be able to do it. IHOP's a good earner. They don't have a bar. Nobody goes to IHOP for dinner. Well, very few people. This is how they're going to do it. But can you sit there and build out every fucking Applebee's in America and cram an IHOP in there?
Dine says it will open 14 in the U.S. this year and has dozens more in development. The first U.S. location opened in Seguin, Texas in February 2025.
It was a $2 million a year in sales IHOP, and it's now running at a rate of $6 million a year, adding an Applebee's. And so that franchisee alone, based upon those results, committed to opening 8 more.
Years ago, Yum Brands tried doing this with KFC and Taco Bell. Darden tried it with Olive Garden and Red Lobster. Neither worked. But Dine Brands says its model is fundamentally different because its brands are not competing with each other.
How did someone need to point that out, by the way? Do you know how fucking batty that is, that somebody needed to come to these jerk-offs and say, hey, I know you think this is a good idea to put the Pizza Hut inside the Taco Bell. I'm at the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. These are the same things. This is shitty fast food for shitty fat Americans looking to kill themselves. They're coming here for lunch. They're coming here for dinner. And they got to choose in between. I don't think anybody's going to make a destination to be like, damn, B, I can get both Taco Bell and KFC at the same time. Maybe a few. This is perfect. Just like E-Rock's shirt. You all morning long, everybody does the switch over, right? McDonald's does the switch over. Every diner does the switch over. But you got an IHOP killing it till noon. You switch over to Applebee's. You get all your blue-collar assholes that are going to go in there and get drunk, eat a shitty burger. They're not competing against each other. It's genius. Nathan Farley says, shit, you never see Ant-Man again. He just sleep there. No, he fucking wouldn't, because he won't go inside of a restaurant and enjoy himself a meal. He orders it to go and then sits in his car like a monster, like a cretin. This wouldn't change anything about what Ant-Man does.
IHOP is mainly serving a morning crowd, and Applebee's is mainly serving an evening crowd.
I don't think unit growth is all of a sudden going to ramp up to 5% because they're doing these combined units. But yeah, is there an opportunity in some markets where it makes sense? Absolutely.
Another way the company is incentivizing growth is by making it less expensive for franchisees to build new restaurants.
We've taken about $1 million out of the cost of building a new
Jesus
Applebee's,
Christ.
primarily in the kitchen, in the back of house. We found less expensive ways to do things than we were doing.
Can you imagine having enough money to open a restaurant and you open a fucking Applebee's. Can you imagine saving up your whole life to buy a fucking restaurant and have your own business, and it ends up being an Apple? Have you guys ever looked into franchising anything? When I first got back to Washington, D.C. after we were out on the West Coast, I looked into opening up Jack in the Boxes. I looked into opening up Whataburgers. Any of those places, Carl's Jr., Del Taco, hell, even In-N-Out. We're finally seeing them actually move across the country. That shit is unbelievably expensive, and they don't want to just open one. They want you to open 10. They want you to open 5. I was this close to opening up a Benny's somewhere around here. I had called and asked the Virginia company. I'm a fan of the company. I like their pizza. They got the big giant slices, the one in Blacksburg, Prince Money. Couldn't get the bitch to call me back. Called twice. Both times she said something to do with her kid caused her to not call me back. And I said, You want me to invest $120,000 in opening one of your businesses, and I can't get you to call me back with the information. I'm going to keep it moving. I decided not to fuck her over by emailing the company and being like, I don't know if you care about this, but this person is not equipped to do what she's doing. But I was motivated. I just can't imagine putting together that type of a wad of cash and saying we're going to open the Applebee's. I do love the idea, though, of the IHOP and the Applebee's coexisting in the same fucking building. Happy for Chili's. I hope Chili's is able to usurp Olive Garden. I don't know how popular the chain restaurant beat is going to be on YouSchoode, but that doesn't mean much to me. That's really all I want to talk about. Okay. We covered the cheese roll. The cheese wheel. You guys know what I'm talking about? I think it was in England, Spain, Ireland, France, Germany. It was in some place where they speak stupidly. And basically it was people running down a hill and killing themselves to try to pick up a wheel of cheese. A lot of fun. It made me start looking into other pockets of this fine globe of ours to see, are there other things like this that are taking place? And I found the Portside Marina Dockers Greasy Pole Competition. Who here is familiar? The Portside Marina Dockers Greasy Pole Competition. Apparently, this has been going on for years now. This is on Kelly's Island, Ohio. I've never been myself, but I'm a big fan of Cleveland, Ohio. Not sure if it's near there. Let's take a look. It's in a book. Is this something that you would try, or do you value your personal health? This looks lovely. A lot of boats. Oh, somebody's getting ready to have sex with that man's tochas. That's the type of Crisco load you need for something that aggressive. Ew.
Welcome. We have the Doctors Portside Marina. My name is Steve Brownell. Congratulations, folks. You are going to see history today, the 4th annual Greasy Pole event.
And they say that white people have no culture.
First person to get all the way down to the end, grab the flag, and have it in your hand when you hit the water, you win $1,000. How you feeling, Jake? Terrible. No, you're not. I'm claiming BS. All right, Jake. You're the first one. No one's ever done it on the first attempt. You know that. Let's make it happen.
All right, so I think I wouldn't mind being first. I think I'd okay being the first guy out there because I don't think you can fuck yourself up all that badly. You're just falling into the water. The problem is the further they get along in this competition, people start going slower. They start thinking they have a shot. And then they do what we all do when we start to fall. We hit the like button on the chaddukesshow YouTube channel. God bless this woman for doing this and just brightening up everybody's day.
Let's do this, Mia. Trent Williams on deck. Noah Hops, you're in the hole. No hole. All right, Mia, let's do this.
Do you think men like to pay attention to Mia? Do you think that she gets paid attention to by dudes? Oh, I mean, can you fall on the land? Is this whole thing out over the water?
Stud Muffin Brian Thomas.
Stud Muffin? That is a pornographic swimsuit right there. Is that Kurt Angle? I think that was a vet from Clue.
You're on deck. Collins in the hole.
See, that's where you start getting fucked up. And now that I've fallen through the goddamn the deck, I mean, just anything to do with the shoulder, when I see someone do that, it makes me fucking cringe so hard because my life's ruined because of my shoulder injury. I'm like, if that at least wasn't my fucking fault. These jagaloons are greasing up the rod and headed to their deaths. You think she gone, Nathan Farley? She gone. Mike Sleep says he loves this. Mike, would you participate? Are we going to go up to Portside Marina, go to Dockers, and grease up the lard pole? LGBTQ representation. A lot of cross-dressers, Mike. There's a lot of really studly dudes doing this.
You got this kid.
Do you think this girl gets attention from men? Oh. Here comes Dukes. I think you got to be super light to have a shot at this.
Let's do this, Evan.
Oh, that was the coccyx. Oh, hello, Chad. I'm going to go try to run down the pole. Oh, Dukes, I'm not going to call you anymore, but I'm going to run down the greased up pole and get lost in between my toes. Oh. Give up. Oh.
Slow and steady.
There's your bun, Mike. Is she dancing on top of the speaker at the Bone Zone?
Watch your toes.
Oh, he just gave up. There's so much lard in the water. No jokes about Schoode in his pool. Now, here's the question. Do you think this sex man is going to be able to pull this right here? Sex man is already out further than anyone has been, but nobody has gone long enough to actually knock any of the lard off the tip of the cock. You're gonna have to go airborne if you want a shot at this bad boy.
Now is the tricky part.
This is a pornographic swimsuit. Go for it, sex man. Problem is, if you jump too soon, you can really risk fucking yourself up, especially if like your leg kicks out at the end because you can't support yourself because you've got lard greased everywhere. Come on, sex man. Oh, he got it. I mean, that's pretty dope, isn't it? What a great idea. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Punkin' Chunkin'. Do you guys, Mike, we got to get you a pair of those shorts. Did you guys ever watch Punkin' Chunkin' on Discovery Channel? I think they had to cancel it because someone got killed with a fucking pumpkin air cannon. We might have to cover Punkin' Chunkin' on this show as well. All right, very good. Thank you to Othman Boucherib for coming on the show today. You guys go check out his YouTube channel. Hopefully some of you are going to make it out to Christmas in June. Friday night, watch live right here on our YouTube channel for free. And then Saturday, we got a whole bunch of fun stuff at Commonwealth Dry Goods. We got the Pacifico Pals hot sauce tacos in Valhalla, salsa picante. We got the hot chocolate bark. We got 4 different candles. What else? Oh, the Chaddukes Show summertime tank tops. The official tank top of the Chaddukes Show this summer. All that'll be available this Saturday at Commonwealth Dry Goods. And Mike, don't think I don't notice. You give a lot of support to this channel, and I love you. You don't usually come by for those events. I better see you. I better see your smiling face. What's up, Rip Dip? Must be raining out. Ripley wants to come down and step all over the power strip like she likes to do. I should probably wrap it up. Thank you so much for checking out YouSchoode. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you are. We will be back on Friday for usually solid dudes, but Christmas in June this Friday. All right, hit the like button on the way out, friendos, and if the good Lord is willing, the creeks don't rise, I'll meet you back here next time. And until that time, enjoy this turkey verse of ours. Let it rip and roll out the trash.
He's got star fruit in his pockets and bananas in his hair. Don't ever fuck with Fruity Dukes, not even on a dare. Fruity Dukes is coming, Fruity Dukes is here. Fruity Dukes rules the produce island, orange groves everywhere. Fruity Dukes has pineapple and Concord grapes in space. He enemas with ocean spray, cranberry juice in waves. Strutting down the block, juggling the nectarines while all the ladies gawk. He's got star fruit in his pockets and bananas in his hair. Don't ever fuck with Fruity Dukes, not even on a dare. Fruity Dukes is coming, Fruity Dukes is here. Fruity Dukes rules the produce island, orange groves everywhere. Fruity Dukes has pineapple and Concord grapes in space. He enemas with ocean spray, cranberry juice in waves. Fruity Dukes is coming, Fruity Dukes is here. Fruity Dukes rules the produce island, orange groves everywhere.